Number one, we switched from a single engine aircraft to a twin engine aircraft.
And this is the first?
This is the first of the twin engine development which we are taking up. Then there's going to be major features like supersonic cruise, stealth built into it, a whole host of sensors. It will be carrying, again, the next generation weapons, including beyond visual range, air-to-air missiles with longer range. And it will have every technical feature which is available at present with today's best of them.
So this is actually going to be an advancement over what we already have, even the LCA Mark 1 that we signed. When is this expected to be inducted into
Okay, so we have just taken on the project, and at the moment the design is more or less frozen.
Okay.
So it will go into the realization stage and then a long drawn evaluation phase.
Okay.
So it's going to take at least about 8 years or so by the time it completes its development cycle. Because as you're aware, this being manned aircraft, there is a whole huge gamut of tests which we have to run.
Okay.
And of
so
course,
8 years at a minimum.
Should take.
All right, but let's move here and let's talk about the Mark II, the LCA Mark II. In fact, the LCA Mark 1, we of course saw that there was a big contract signed and was given to HAL. This is an advancement over the Mark 1, ma'am. Can you just tell us how this is better than the LCA Mark 1?
So the most important feature is that we are now going with the improved engine. Well, that was a 404 engine. This is now we are going in with a 414 engine.
Okay.
And we are again going in for improvements in some of its features in terms of, I think, the length and all the basic dimensional details will also be different. This is again completed its design phase.
Right.
The metal cutting is started, and we hope there will be a rollout of this by 2022.
Okay. Moving on, of course, there's this missile here. What is the name of this, ma'am?
This is the Nirbhay, which is our subsonic cruise missile, capable of about 1,000 kilometers of range. And this has passed through its development cycle, and we have already done a number of trials and tests on it, and it is ready for going into the final phase and getting accepted by the users. One important factor of the combat aircraft is the engine.
Right.
And as you know, the Kaveri engine has been in development for some time. So one factor I'd like to explain to you all is that the Kaveri engine, a combat aircraft's engine, actually represents a pinnacle of technology complexity, which is why we have very few countries in the world who have actually developed their engine. And there are about half a dozen of them, or 4 or 5 of them. And India is aiming to be the next. We have achieved substantial success in the Kaveri program, and we have the last mile to achieve in terms of technological excellence in it. We are looking for collaboration for this to get to the last mile, and after which we will come into, we will fit it into.
Has a lot of plans under the Atmanirbhar Bharat scheme that the government has been pushing, and of course Tata is now looking to make the first military grade aircraft here in the country for a private entity. It's the first in India. Tell us a little bit about that. Have you received the technology from Germany already?
Yes, so I must say that Tata Advanced Systems, which is 100% Tata Sons company, has actually taken steps to not just make in India, but also to design in India and give India and the Indian military strategic control over technology. I think this is a big gap in India, and the private sector needs to step up and do its bit. One of the examples is where we have actually bought the technology to build high-altitude aircraft, jet aircraft, out of a country in Europe, and we will manufacture it in India and be able to offer it for surveillance aircraft for Indian military customers or abroad, or exported abroad.
But since Tata will be the first private entity in India to potentially develop a full military grade aircraft, like I said before, when can we expect that? Has work begun on it? Yeah. Where is it going to happen? No,
it's the aircraft is flying right now. I mean, I think you're talking of the one that the high altitude aircraft that Tatas have.
Yeah.
It's flying right now. There are some regulatory issues where it needs to actually be, as a private entity, to be allowed to be brought into India and to continue to do the development flights. So because this is the first time that a private company is doing this,
right,
we also have to crack the threshold of regulation in India.
Absolutely.
And on merit, we have gone to the government and they have been responsive.
Bharat scheme, foreign firms would be required to do a transfer of technology to the Indian partner. Big defence equipment makers including Boeing and Lockheed Martin showcased their combat weaponry at the Aero Show. Mugdha Warrior caught up with Salil Gupte, President of Boeing India, and William Blair, the Vice President and Chief Executive of Lockheed Martin India. Let's hear them out.